Hello everybody and welcome to another community fortress. This is the Fortress of Combined Towns, which was sent in on the Discord by Salvadaddy. If you would like to have a look at other fortresses that people have sent in from this show, you can find that down on the Discord server. Of course, you can also send in a fortress of your own. This fortress contains some pretty humongous spoilers, so I'm just going to throw that out at the front. If you are scared of seeing things related to endgame Dwarf Fortress, this Dwarven Fortress has that aplenty. But let's dive in. So this is a rather impressive outer iron wall, which is a thematic thing that I really appreciate, but on a technical level, I wouldn't do it myself. If I was building this fortress, I would have given it a overhang at the top, as some things can climb trees, and you want them to have, the trees to have the lowest chance possible of growing all the way up to the top, because they could come up here and jump. So what I would do is I would make it go out on each layer, just so that there's less chance the stuff can get up the side of the wall, although metal walls are very difficult to climb. All that being said, there's lots of beautiful red paint on the ground, kind of surrounding the outside of this fortress, including these lovely upright pencils that may or may not impale anybody who falls over the wall, which seems to do that rather frequently. I'm seeing a lot of alpaca blood, though, so maybe it's hitting things that it's not really intending. As for that, we've got my favorite source of power, which is a beautiful water wheel system. As I unpause the game, you can see that the frame rate is crashing. However, it is still going to run at a relatively stable frame rate once it is rolling. Now, of just, 50, which is completely playable. Iron gates around the edges and various little stairways and things kind of entering into the fortress. But as we move into this fortress of vomit and blood, surrounded by these glorious hives and wonderful towers leading up to a place where a watchdog is keeping very loyal eye on the surroundings, we can move down into here, where we have two separate entryways. This one, which has a very clear drowning chamber set up, essentially I'm assuming drowning anybody who tries to attack. So, you kind of come in here and, you're tempted to walk down this way and into the fortress, but in reality, you actually just get turned into, you get a scuba diving lesson, in short. Down here, we have a ramp leading down into the fortress and this beautiful golden statue of dwarves. Of course, a masterful gold statue of dwarves created by Cog. This item is a masterfully designed image of dwarves in gold by Cog. The dwarves are traveling. The artwork relates to the foundation of Combined Towns by the Paddle of Salves in the Volcano of Temples in the early spring of the year 100. Of course, meaning that this fortress is 128 years old. Now, down here, we have a little set of traps, as well as an adamantine bridge, very fancy, and a glorious little platinum. You heard me, trade depot. Definitely gonna throw some wonder into anybody coming into trade. Now, immediately we start to see bajillions of items. Now, there's kind of a lot going on in this fortress, just stockpiles-wise, so let's kind of work through it. We've got various stockpiles filled with bins, and maybe the biggest booze stockpile I've seen in a while. Is there actually, a good variety of alcohol in this fort, though? That is the question. So, if I actually go down to drinks. There is, I can see, where's D's? Drinks, there we go. So we got rye beer, a good selection, rice beer, maize beer, white mullet beer, sweet potato wine, tomato wine, passion fruit wine. Wow. This is actually a very nice variety of alcohol. Often when I see huge alcohol piles like this, it's 99% Dwarven wine, which it still is, admittedly. I would actually sell most of this Dwarven wine. Fun fact, Dwarves like variety. So if they're constantly drinking the same alcohol, they go, meh, why do I have to drink the same alcohol all the time? When in reality, it's just forbid this, and then you're not going to have that problem anymore. But just kind of for future reference. Now, there's a unfortunate goblin who seems to have had some unfortunate days, who I guess lives here. He is hateful after being confined. I'm sure he's fine. Anyway, over here we have these lovely walkways, and then some of these actually have trapdoors, which go down to little kitchens, which is kind of a neat way to do it. I really quite like that little trapdoor setup. But as for the fortress itself, there is a little sprinkler here, which is draining. I'm assuming that that's coming from an aquifer or something, but it's kind of hard to say. Anyway, a couple layers up, we do actually have this lovely barracks complex, which of course has silver walls and copper floors. Very well appointed, if I do say so myself. And we can begin moving down a little bit. Now over here is a drop fall splat trap for things that need to, go be begonified. So if they need to be begonified, the bits and pieces all get thrown in here, and then I guess they pull this lever, which then crushes the stuff. You could actually use a minecart, an infinite stockpile. Just put a little corpse pile right there, and then a minecart going over the edge, and that would automate this a little bit, which would maybe make your life a little bit easier. But it's not life or death or anything. Then we have another steel bridge, and of course this waterfall, which is of course misting this stairwell, which we can move down into the fortress a little bit. So let's take a look at this kind of crafting layer. Very blocky. I like my rooms more rounded, but definitely an efficient setup for a variety of different crafts, dwarf shops. And down here is the glorious, 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 glorious iron artifact hall filled with some beautiful artifacts. Like if I just pick one out real quick, we can see this, which is a lignite ring. All craft store ships of the highest quality. Beautiful. I really like these kinds of things. A blazing metal scimitar. Good to see. You gotta love the fun stuff from the depths and the deep. And then over here, we have like this cowbone scepter. Yeah, it's on this bauxite pedestal. We have a donkey bone floodgate. You'll love to see it. Just a wonderful little variety. And then dogs to stop any potential thieves, of course. We can move down another layer, and we can look around and see some bedrooms. These are mostly unassigned is the word I'm looking for here, and a nicely green painted tavern, which of course you love to see it. And then over here, there's a lot of spatterings of fun. I assume that this hole here in the wall led to a bit of an issue when stuff came in. Many, many, many more well-appointed walls, of course silver floors, and a silver road in the center. Down here we have bedrooms, which I'm assuming, yes, these ones are actually all assigned. And I personally would have paved the floors. I mean, parts of this fort are extremely wealthy, and then parts of it are just kind of barren. It's like I would have paved the floors with some bricks if I were building this. But more bedrooms, of course. These dwarves have a lot of clothing, hence why this messy dwarf just kind of leaves everything everywhere. Over here we have a library of knowledge, the Abbey of Knowledge, which has 307 books. Holy shit. I should also note that this fort has quite a few different squads, which I'm sure have been quite busy. We have a very, very nicely set up little prison setup over here. Very pretty. I'm assuming you get to stare at this lovely gold statue of this human here while hanging out in prison. Could be worse. And then as we move down, there is kind of this little central stairway. Now, this kind of little central stairway moves through a lot of cavern layers where they're farming, and then just kind of continues going down. And this is where we're going to start to hit the spoilers that I alluded to earlier on. So this kind of goes around. It goes up to this upper cavern layer where you can see that definitely something's gone on. Lots of fun has taken place there, I would assume. And then down here we have areas that have just been chiseled out, and this just kind of continues moving downwards. And then over here we can see, this forgotten beast who's angry because he's stuck. And then we can kind of move down a little ways through this deep passageway, which move down through cavern layers and many squirrely little staircases. The more main staircase is over here, so we're just going to keep following this down. And it kind of goes down to about here, where we can see the edges of the third cavern layer, and then a whole lot of blood, where clearly something happened. I mean, there's leech demons here. So what I'm assuming they did for defenses here was just kind of a, series of kind of trapping things and perhaps water from the looks of things, although that wouldn't do a whole lot to actually fight off demons. So I'm not entirely sure what their process of killing them was. I would love if it was added in somewhere, maybe even just by like filtering the poor Olm or cavefish people into here. But the cavern layer itself through here just kind of moves down into this kind of lower layer. And then this one over here was the one where they were successful. So as we can see, there's a bunch of demons here. They're all marked with L, I'm assuming meaning that they're a great toucan with lidless eyes, a pair of fan-like antennae. Okay, great toucans, eh? But we can move down and follow the obsidian patchwork through this adamantine spire all the way down. And this is where this fortress gets exciting. We can see this beautiful Killenite block wall all the way down into here where they have many trapped demons, like Ignore Him, silly little guy. Big fan of Ignore Him. I guess caught between a door and a trap door. But down here we have a tavern and a prison and some space in hell and a tower. This is cool, including a stray dog who's here to watch out for demons. And sucks to be this guy. Hello, blind. So this is, air quotes, piece of shit. I'm not sure who piece of shit is, but it does say not me. So that's adorable. But he is prone to hatreds and often develops negative feelings. And his hair is extremely long and his teeth are crowded. I don't know what this goblin did. Probably tried to steal an artifact, but I suppose he lives here now in hell. So clearly some glorious stories were had here in this fortress, and I love this vision of a prison in hell. It's very, very, very nice. Lowest layer of this fortress. I'm a massive fan of this. If you want to send in a fortress for me to have a peek at on this show, you can do that via my Discord server. There's a link down in the description. And I'm currently going to be at PAX as the time that you're seeing this video uploaded. So if you are in the Seattle area and would like to hang out, jump into my Discord and at me. And we'll see if we can meet up. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.